all about being the second option for UPSC aspirants. So many people who cannot clarify UPSC, they have in their mind that they can go for PCS because it's kind of have a similar kind of a syllabus and it is less, what do I say, less complicated in comparison to UPSC. So in today's video, we're going to understand what PCS is. That means State Public Service Commission is under Indian Constitution, and what Indian Constitution talks about this particular constitutional body, its commission functions, the role, and all other stuff. So let's get started. So this is the exact paragraph from the Indian polity itself. So it says parallel to the Union Public Service Commission at the center, there is a State Public Service Commission SPSC in a state. So UPSC is at the center. For state, we have SPSC, that is PCS basically. So basically what happens, every state conducts a kind of a exam and recruits people for such posts. So basically PCS or SPSC has similar kind of pattern, rules and regulations just like UPSC. UPSC is just about the higher level authority, and for states we have PCS. And exactly the same articles that which talks about UPSC, the same articles will be applicable for SPSC also. The same set of articles, that is from Article 315 to 323, Part 14 of the Constitution, also deal with the composition, appointment and removal of members, power and function and independence of SPSC. So whatever we have understood in the previous video relating to UPSC, same will be applicable to SPSC, but there are just a little bit of differences. So if you have understood the very procedure regarding UPSC, then it would be very easy for you to understand what SPSC is under the Indian Constitution. So it is basically UPSC is central recruiting agency for central, and for state we have State Public Service Commission. It is for states. So every state has their own kind of system for recruiting people. So this is the basic point that you can derive from this very paragraph. That is, the same articles will be applicable to both UPSC and SPSC. Composition regarding appointment, removal of members, independent power function, same is given under the same article also. So for both of the constitutional body, you can remember that particular set of articles only because these are both applicable for both of the constitutional body. So now let's move into the composition. So this is the very exact paragraph. I'll try to decode it. A State Public Service Commission consists of a chairman and other members appointed by the governor of the state. So this is all about appointment procedure. And who will appoint them? The governor. Earlier it was president in UPSC. That's because we are talking about states. So here the government will appoint them. The constitution does not specify the strength of the commission but has left the matter to the discretion of the governor. So it is not explicitly mentioned about how many members should be there, but the decision has been left upon the governor only, and it is upon him only what could be the number of members. Further, no qualification are prescribed for the commission's membership except the one half of the members of the commission should be such person who have held office for at least 10 years either under the government of India or under the government of a state. So this requirement is same as UPSC. You have to have a certain requirement in order to become a chairman or members of SPSC. The Constitution also authorizes the governor to determine the conditions of service of the chairman and members of the commission. So earlier it was president in UPSC. For state it was governor who had the responsibility and all kind of power regarding the composition of such bodies. The chairman and members of the commission hold office for a term of 6 years or until they attain the age of 62 years, whichever is earlier. In the case of UPSC, the age limit is 65. For UPSC, we have 65, but for state, we have 62 years, whichever is earlier. However, they can relinquish their offices at any time by addressing the resignation to the governor. But in case if they want to resign from their post, they can approach the governor for such act. The governor can appoint one of the members of the SPSC as an acting chairman in the following two circumstances: when the office of the chairman falls vacant, when the chairman is unable to perform his functions due to absence of some reason, the acting chairman functions till the person appointed as chairman enters on the duties of the office, or still as chairman is able to resume his duty. So this is basically the same paragraph that is given under UPSC. It is applicable for SPSC also. So these are the extract that you can derive from that lengthy paragraph. That is composition, chairman plus members appointed by the governor. So governor plays a very important role when it's come to SPSC. Strength, no fixed number, left governor discretion. So there is no specific number mentioned here. Qualification, at least 50% of the members must have 10 years of government service, state or center. So this is the very requirement that a person must have before entering to such bodies. Tenure 6 years up till 62 years of age, whichever comes fast. For UPSC, it is 65 years. So it talks about basically tenure and resignation. Members can resign by addressing the governor directly. So as I said, the governor holds all kind of responsibility and powers regarding its composition and also for the resignation of the members. Acting chairman appointed when office is vacant. Chairman is absent or unable to function. In case there is absence of the chairman, the governor can appoint a person who will be working as a acting chairman. Role of acting chairman serves till a new chairman joins or the existing chairman returns. So this is the very role of the acting chairman. Now let's move into the removal process. Although the chairman and members of the SPSC are appointed by the governor, but they can be removed only by the president and not by the government. So thus now we have understood that the governor has the power to appoint them, but he doesn't have the power to remove them from their post. For that we have to go for that president, or that president holds the power to remove such people from their post. The president can remove them on the ground, on same grounds in the same manner as he can remove the chairman or members of a UPSC. Thus, he can remove him under the following circumstance. So this is basically the same reason which I have already explained in my previous video regarding UPSC. So this would be same would be applicable for SPSC members also, and only the president can remove from his post. So in case if you don't have the book, if you want to write the exact text from the Indian polity, you can write it down from here. This is the exact written paragraph that is from Indian polity 6th edition. So this is the extract from the paragraph. Removal of SPSC chairman and members appointed by governor but removed by president. So yeah, in case of removal, only president has the power to do so. Grounds for removal: insolvency, is bankrupt, engages in outside paid employment, infirmity of minor body as judged by the president. In case he fails to do his work and his body or mind fails to help him during his work hour under the ground only, he can be removed from his post. Removal for misbehavior. President refers the case to the Supreme Court inquiry. SC's advice is binding. Government can Governor can suspend during inquiry. So as I said, SC also Supreme Court has also played a very important role here. The president cannot remove him alone. He has to wait for what Supreme Court has to say, and whatever Supreme Court would be saying, that would be mandatory. What is misbehavior? And also what is misbehavior is also defined in the Indian Constitution itself. Having an interest in contract agreements with the government, profiting from such contracts or agreements. So it is strictly prohibited. The members who are appointed in such commission cannot be a part of any kind of agreement, cannot be a part of from any kind of contracts of that particular government. So this is the ground on what basis they can be removed from their post. Now let's move into independence. As in the case of UPSC, the Constitution has made the following provisions to safeguard and ensure the independent and impartial functioning to SPSC. As I said, in order to make the work impartial, the bodies has to be independent to work freely. The chairman or a member of SPSC can be removed from office by the president only in manner on the grounds mentioned in the Constitution. Therefore, they enjoy security of tenure. So they can only be removed on the grounds mentioned in the Indian Constitution only. And except for that, they cannot be removed from their post. So they cannot be removed on such ground that they are waking late in the morning and someone says a member of that particular body should be wake up early. So this is just an example. As I said, whatever is mentioned in the Constitution on such grounds only they can be removed. Other than that, they have this independence. The conditions of service of the chairman or a member, though determined by the governor, cannot be varied to his advantage after his appointment. As I said, whatever is written on that basis only he can be removed. Other than that, we cannot add anything as per our own interest. The entire expenses, including the salaries, allowances, and pension of the chairman and members of SPC, are charged under the consolidated fund of the state. Thus, they are not subject to vote of state legislature. As I said earlier, it was consolidated from India because UPSC is for center. Now SPSC and the pension allowances, whatever the whatever the amount would be given from that consolidated fund of state. So state will pay for such those allowances. The chairman of SPSC on ceasing to hold office is eligible for appointment as the chairman of a member of the UPSC or as the chairman of any other SPSC, but not for any other employment under the government of India or a state. So for UPSC also it was mentioned that they cannot opt for any other services other than that. But just because SPS is for state, so the members can apply for UPSC to be a member of such place. But other than that, they don't have the authority to enter into such other organization or work under the government. Uh, a member of SPSC on ceasing to hold office is eligible for appointment as chairman or member of the UPSC as the chairman of the SPSC or any other SPSC, but not for any employment under the government of India or state. So this is what I have just mentioned. The chairman of a member of SPSC is after having completed his first term not eligible for reappointment to that office. This is not eligible for second office. This is same with UPSC that after finishing your term you are not eligible to re-enter in your post. So let's move into the crisp point from that bad paragraph, safeguarding independence of speech. So it is very much important to safeguard such bodies which is constitutional in order to maintain their independence. Removal only by president as per the constitution ensures security of tenure. So they kind of enjoys security of tenure, and as per the constitution only president has the power to remove them from their post. Service condition fixed by governor cannot be changed to the disadvantage after amendment. So whatever is written in the constitution, only that will be applicable. No other rule can be imposed on them, whatever which is not written in the constitution. Expenses, salaries, pension come from consolidated fund of the state. No legislative force needed. So for UPSC, it is for the center, consolidated fund of the from the center, and just because it is for the state, so from state will be paying their allowances. Post-retirement opportunities. Chairman can be appointed as chairman member of UPSC or another SPSC in other government job. So either they can go for UPSC or either they can go for any other state. For example, I am from Assam. So if I am a member from Assam SPSC and I can go for Madhya Pradesh or I can go for Andhra Pradesh. So now all for all these kind of body I can go into, but other than that, I cannot apply for any other government job. Member can be appointed as chairman member of the UPSC or SPSC, no other government job. As I said, except this, no other government under I can work. No reappointment for second term of once tenure is over. So reappointment is strictly prohibited. So now let us understand the functions. ASPC perform all those functions in respect of the state services as the APSC does in relation to the central services. So what UPSC does, the functions UPSC were having for the central. Now that we are having this state exam, all the functions would be towards the state only. It conducts examination for appointments to the services of the state. So basically, it recruits people for state only through the medium of SPSC. It is consulted on the following matters related to personnel management. All matters relating to method of recruitment to civil services and for civil posts. So all the matters, whether the exam should be written, whether there should be interview added, whether there should be any other stuff needed. So all kind of function is under SPSC. The principles to be followed in making appointments to civil services and posts and in making promotions and transfer from one service to another. So this is also relating to the recruitment process. After you recruit someone, what would be the work for that post? What would be the appointment procedure? So all such functions are held upon SPSC. The suitability of candidates for appointment to civil service and post for promotion and transfer from one service to another, an appointment by transfer or deputation, the concerned departments make recommendation for promotion and request the SPSC to ratify them. As I said, all the functions relating to appointment, salaries, transfer, all the work is fall under that SPSC, and they can also vouch for any kind of rectification if they want that should be included under SPSC. All disciplinary matters affecting a person serving under the government of the state in a civil capacity, including memorials or petition relating to such matters. This includes censure, withholding of increments, withholding of promotions, recovery of pecuniary loss, reduction to lower service or rank, compulsory retirement, removal from service, dismissal from service. So this is another function that is held upon SPSC. Any claim for reimbursement of legal expenses incurred by civil servant in defending legal proceeding instituted against him in respect of act done in the execution of his official duty. So when the officer is in duty, is in that time being, if he's facing some legal proceedings and if he had to for some reason go for some legal proceedings for what the expenses he would be bearing, that should be covered under SPSC. So this is the another uh, functions. Any claim for the award of pension in respect of injury sustained by a person while serving under the government of the state in any question of the amount of any such award. So relating to pension also, this is another function under this SPSC. Any other method related to personal management. So this is all the function that has been mentioned under SPSC. The Supreme Court has held that the government fails to consult the SPSC in these matters. The aggrieved public servant has no remedy in a court. So Supreme Court says, so what happens in state uh, civil services? The state or the government hold all kind of power to add new kind of provisions to look after what are the officials are doing. All this work are wasted in the government only. The Supreme Court is not responsible for any kind of uh, working with the SPA. So if there is anything happening, it is duty of the government to look up into it. In other words, the court held that any irregularity in consultation with the SPC or acting without consultation does not invalidate decision of the government. So this is what the Supreme Court has said regarding this matter. That the provision is directory and not a mandatory. So this is directory provision, provision directory and not mandatory. Similarly, the court held that selection by the SPC does not confer any right to the post upon the candidate. However, the government is to act fairly and without arbitrariness or malafide. So it is upon the government to act arbitrarily regarding appointment, transfer, or such kind of thing. So it is basically wasted upon the government only how they conduct such examination. The additional functions relating to service of the state can be conferred by on a SPSC by the state legislature. It can also place the personnel system of any local authority, corporate body, or public institution within the jurisdiction of the SPSC. Here, the jurisdiction of SPSC can be extended by an act made by the state legislature. So, the government can also bring some act regarding to SPSC. So, it has the power imposed upon government. The SPSC presents annually to the governor reports on its performance. So they has to proper mud a report and has to present it to the governor only. The governor places this report before board of the house of the state legislature along with memorandum reply explaining the cases where the advice of the commission was not accepted and the reasons for non-accepted. So at the end, SPC provides a kind of a memorandum to the governor with all the pending cases or advices they ask to the government to work upon, which the government fails to do so or kind of ignore. So they placed it in front of the governor, which place there's in the house, and they will look after it whether this should be addressed or not. So now these are the key points extracted from that lengthy, paragraphs. Functions of the State Public Service Commission. The SPSC conducts exam for state service appointment. So it conducts exams and recruit people for state to serve state. Consulted on personal management matters, recruitment methods, appointment and promotion principles, candidate suitability for appointments, promotion transfer, disciplinary matters, censure, demotion, dismissal, claims for legal expense reimbursement, injury expension, and any other personal related issue. So these are the extracted key points. Supreme Court ruling and what Supreme Court has to say regarding this. Consultation is directory, not mandatory. No legal right to oppose for SPSC selected candidate. Government must act fairly, not arbitrarily. It says that the Supreme Court says that the government should act fairly without doing any kind of arbitrariness. Additional function that it has can be assigned by the state legislature. Jurisdiction can be extended to a local body's public institution. Annual report, as I said, SPSC will prepare a memorandum will be placed before the governor, submitted to the governor. Governor places it before the state legislature with explanation for any advice which is not accepted earlier. So this is for the people of the house who has denied the kind of advices that has been placed by the SPSC members. So this is all about what SPSC is. In this video, I have tried to explain why or how it is different from UPSC, or in what matters it is similar to UPSC. So if you found this video worth watching, please like, share and subscribe. That will be motivating me to be more energetic for you and to bring more such legal updates or for such legal topics. So that's all for today. Seeing you soon. Thank you for watching the video.